Hey, hello again. Well, I'm out on the Rainy Lake Trail, heading for, you guessed it, Rainy Lake. It's a beautiful early fall day. I'm hoping to catch some larches in beautiful fall color. Beautiful paved trail, easy. Looks like it's downhill to the lake and then uphill back to the car. Lots of wildfire smoke in the air. It's got me a little bit hoarse, a little bit congested. Not too bad a summer for wildfires, but it doesn't take much to really knock the air quality down. Some nice little markers on the trail that talk about the local flora. Feel free to use footage from my videos to create your own art. Just tag me if you post it online. I'd like to see it. Beautiful rainy lake. It's a little bit of fall color. There's a nice wide platform here, a paved area for sitting and looking. I think I could take up a little bit of space. Looks like there's a trail that heads off that way too. I'll go explore that. I think there are a lot of potential scenes to paint here. Maybe the afternoon would be even better because this bank with the gravel slopes would be in light. But this is pretty gorgeous right here as well. Here's the scene I'm going to paint. I just love the shapes and colors I'm seeing here. The beautiful shadow pattern, the light reflected in the water. It's hard to catch it all on my camera here. I don't really have a wider lens when I'm filming video. It's a very complicated scene. I'll need to simplify it quite a bit to get it done before the light changes too much. But that'll be a fun challenge. As always, thanks so much for joining me. If you like these videos, please like and subscribe. This spot is just around the corner from the paved viewing area. It looks like a well-established trail. It's not really trampling down any meadow or young growth or anything, so I think it's okay to take the trail. It looks like it keeps going on further. I didn't want to go any further because I like this viewpoint. Quick rundown on my palette. I've got my normal colors out. Ivory black, gray, which is just a mix of ivory black and titanium white, to about a 50% value, about the same value as my glass palette. Cerulean blue, a little bit of phthalo blue. I pulled this out because I see some pretty intense blues in those trees, and you can get a really intense but high value blue or green with phthalo blue. Ultramarine blue, sap green, burnt umber, burnt sienna, alizarin crimson, cad red, cad yellow, Windsor lemon, yellow ochre. I've got a few colors already mixed from my painting yesterday. The painting didn't quite work out, but I had some paint left over, so I'll try to use those up today as I mix my new colors. These are the sky colors, which are pretty close to what I'm seeing right now. I need to mix up maybe one slightly pink cloud color as well. I see some beautiful wispy clouds up there, and I could probably use that same color for some of the rock faces in the sun. I've got turpentine here. It's nice and cool today. There's a little bit of a breeze, so I'll use turpentine for the initial sketch and the initial wash. And then I'll put the lid on that and get the Gamsol out. I've got Neil McGilpin here, and I'll put a little Gamsol in that small cup. Going with an 11 by 14 inch Centurion oil primed linen panel. I've got the 1/3 lines marked on there, horizontal and vertical, just to help me easily find the centers of interest. I think I'll put the lake shore on this lower 1/3 line and have the sloping hill come down this way and the reflection come out this way. I'll try not to have the slopes go right out a corner, and I'll try to establish the shadow pattern early. It's a really gorgeous shadow pattern right now, and earlier these trees were all in shadow. I think I liked that better. I may put them back in shadow for the painting, or part of them, like this closer tree is in shadow, so I could suggest that there's a closer level of trees in shadow and then some further ones in sun. That might be interesting. But I want some shadow here and shadow all through here, and then back up the slope, and then this nice shadow pattern here as well. So I'll try to simplify that, try to pull all those shapes into simpler shapes and be gestural with my drawing. I don't want to be real finicky. I don't want to try to capture every tree, every ridge line. It's too much. I just want to get the feel of the place, the height of the rocky slopes, the colors, the fall colors popping out, and the shadow and the light in this misty morning light. Start with this small rosemary lung flat. It's pretty beat up. It's fine for sketching though. It's got a nice sharp point because it's worn down. Sketch in turpentine. Use a little bit of alizarin crimson and ultramarine blue. Where the mountains meet the sky. I'm going to shrink this background peak a little bit. So that these peaks aren't all right at the same height. Fish jumping in the lake out there. But I mostly try to capture the shadows that I'm seeing right now, so I get them before they go away. In this video, you're going to see how quickly and drastically the light can change. I'm facing south, so as the sun rises, I'm facing into the sun. As the sun clears the top of the hills, it will change the shadow pattern and blast the scene with midday light. I'll do my best in this video to show how I try to capture what I think is the best shadow pattern, the best moment of the morning. Alright, there's the sketch in rough value pattern with some color suggestions as well, just to help me remember where the sun is hitting and where the shadow is hitting. Now I'll go with a large bristle brush and do a quick turpentine wash. If you'd like to see an extended version of this video almost real time, check out my Patreon page. Link is in the description below. Here I'm taking this sharp rosemary ivory brush with a little bit of turpentine and just recarving some of the lightest lights I'm seeing in the scene. Trying to follow the pattern I laid out earlier, and also just reacting to what the wash is doing, some of the abstract random things that happen. Alright, as you can see, the light has changed quite a bit. The sun's coming up fast. It was such a nice, pleasant spot earlier with some light shade, but now it's full on sun. That's the challenge of plein air painting. Got some colors mixed up here. I tried in vain to minimize the number of piles of color. It's a pretty complicated scene, so I still need to practice that. I've got the deep blue of the high sky and some pink for the clouds, a little bit of a lighter bluish green as the sky comes down toward the top of the mountains. I've got some rock and trees in shadow colors here in the background, and then some rock and shadow in the foreground. I'm going to stay with that lighting I liked when I was here earlier. That lighting is gone now, but hopefully I can remember what it was. It had these beautiful darker gray, green and gray blues in the foreground, and that line of really dark pine trees. I'll just use all these same colors for the reflection in the water. I'll just gray them down a little bit, maybe warm them up a little bit as well. I've got some light. My highest value, my lightest light, is the sun on the rock on the mountain. I've got a little tanner, a little darker value as the rock turns away, and then a grayer value as the rock turns into shadow. So these are kind of mid-tones, and this is the accent. I've got some of the scrubby brush climbing up the gravel slope. I'll just use this color and these colors for the gravel slope. It's pretty close to that. If I kind of lay it in a choppy way, hopefully it'll read. Some greens for the foreground pine trees in sun and in shadow, and this is kind of a scrubby fall color brush as it climbs the slope. And these are just the leftover colors from yesterday that I didn't use up. Use this rosemary bristle brush again. I got some ultimate bristle brushes, long flats from Rosemary to try. I've been wanting to try some bristles. Let's see, I'll use this smaller ivory that I used earlier, make sure it's clean, and put in the clouds first. I'm going to go with some cloud shapes that I saw earlier that I thought would go nicely with the scene. Some sweeping clouds coming down toward these beautiful peaks. think I want some clouds over here next to the dark side of the mountain as well to help show its shape. I'll kind of correct the drawing here as I go. So I'll start by painting the sky and then just move down and forward. Alright, I'm going to use the same ivory and just go right into the mountain. Paint the lightest lights first. Make sure it's nice and clean before I paint those lightest lights. Now I'll go into this next warmer rock color. Next darker, a little bit warmer. Not painting what I'm seeing for the most part, kind of painting based on the wash I did and from memory, because the sun has moved and the shadow pattern is different. And I liked the effect earlier. Sure.
Thank you. Oh my god, that's beautiful.
Come on down, it won't bother me.
Oh look, yeah, that's really pretty. Do you sell your artwork?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Would you like a business card?
Yeah.
I've been thinking about offering some plein air tours to people who are in the area, or if I visit their area. Drop me a comment below or shoot me an email. My email address is in the description below. Let me know if you're interested. What I have in mind is a relatively inexpensive half day or day where we do a little bit of hiking. We can visit some spots that maybe I've vetted before, that I've tried before, where I know we can find a nice wide spot to stand, where we won't be too interrupted by people on the trail. One of the difficult and even scary things about getting out and painting plein air, I know, is being alone in nature. I know that I can imagine that is scary sometimes, and I can help there. If you go with a friend, if you go with someone that knows the area, that always helps. So I'd like to offer that. I could do a little demo, or we could just paint together and hopefully just get you over the hurdle of trying it if you haven't tried it before, or get you back at it if you tried it before but you haven't done it in a while. Anyway, shoot me an email. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Especially let me know if you'd be interested in doing it. Anyway, let me know what you think. I use this same large rosemary bristle brush and now map in that beautiful line of dark trees with this darkest dark. Add just a little bit of Gamsol to get it to flow. Just need to decide on where I want those dark trees to show up. I'll paint this little fallen log. When I was here earlier, it was beautiful blue, almost the same blue as this rock in the shade. Here's where it ended up. 11 by 14 inch oil on linen panel. Pretty strong backlighting. Let me see if I can fix that. Maybe that's a little better. Yeah, beautiful place to paint. Be fun to come back and try a little bigger panel here. Easy hike. A couple nice places to set up. Met a couple nice folks from New York who really loved the painting, so that's always fun. I'm really liking these Rosemary bristle brushes. I think I want to get more in some different sizes. They really help with covering the panel fast and also expressive brushwork, especially as you get into the later, thicker paint. The bristle brush really puts down some nice looking brush strokes. I also went in with the palette knife just a little bit here at the end to bump up the value in the green where it had kind of gotten muddy. Just introduced a little bit of fresh paint with a palette knife, which I think helps. Adds a variety of brush strokes and some interesting jagged shapes. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I'll clean this up and put it out on my website. As always, thanks so much for joining me, and I'll see you in the next one. If you'd like to support the channel, please visit my website. I sell these little plein air pieces at a reasonable price because I consider them practice. It really makes me happy when someone likes my art enough that they want to hang it in their home. You can also sign up for my newsletter and stay up to date on my new work and shows and get a discount on original art and prints.